Wanna know how I got these scars? Well, I'm the Joker, baby.
All right. What's up, Kevin?
Not much.
Kev.
I saw a movie.
Oh, yeah? What movie did you watch?
It was called Joker.
Did you make it out alive?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't seem to have any extra holes.
I just want everyone to know that, after all the blowback about this film, all the controversy, I don't know. People know anyone that lives in South Texas knows that it's a dystopian nightmare now. It's the end of the world. They tried to warn us, but we didn't listen. We went to go watch the movie, and there's no more. It's just me and Kevin now here in South Texas.
Yeah, and we had a great time.
It was great. Now it's fun. The traffic is really light.
I think they used the wrong song. This is my only commentary.
Which one?
In the movie. You know how they was like...
I thought it was the greatest. I loved it.
Hey!
It was the perfect song.
No. Wrong.
No.
They should have used Psycho Killer.
You told me about that. Yeah.
It's a good song. Have you heard that song?
I have heard the song.
It goes better with the dance.
Yeah, sure, it goes better, but I think the song itself...
Too on the nose?
It's insane, right? Yeah. Like, there's all kinds of crazy shit happening, and then this song comes up, and I just started cracking up.
It's like the football anthem?
Dude, it's funny shit. Like, it made me laugh, and that's the thing that I loved. One of the principal things that I loved about the movie, like later on I'll talk about, like, the politics that I liked about the movie. Yeah. But, like... The movie was really funny when it had to be. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Really, genuinely
hilarious,
side-splittingly funny.
Yeah, and it was fucked up because just me and Mo.
3 parts.
There was a couple of them that made me laugh. That maybe
no one else laughed.
It was just me and Mo laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was one that I was the only person laughing.
Yeah, the true psychos get the joke, and everybody else is like, "What the?"
Yeah, it was like
that's not nice.
It was real funny, like. Norm Macdonald anti-comedy type shit.
Yeah,
it was just fucking hysterical.
I love Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, he's a funny motherfucker.
Dude, did you see that interview on Conan with him?
I've seen a couple of them. He used to be on Conan all the time.
Yes, he was.
And I think
Conan, with good reason. Yeah, Conan loved him.
Yeah, Conan said that he loved having him on because he was so fucking nuts.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's totally crazy. My favorite interview he ever did was when the girl did the Carrot Top movie and she was there. Did you see that?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, and Conan challenges him. Mm-hmm. Because he's been shitting on her the whole time about the movie. And she says, they asked her, what's it called? And she's like, it's called Chairman of the Board. And Conan flippantly says, what are you going to do with that, huh? And then Norman Donald 2 seconds later said, is it spelled Bored?
Oh, man, yeah. He's fucking great,
and the girl's face when he said that. And before that, he goes, I know what that movie should be called. And he's like, what? And he goes, Box Office Poison.
I like that he looks at the audience and he's like, am I right? You know what I mean? Fucking crazy Canadians, man, I'm telling you.
And that was the spirit of this movie, sometimes.
Right. Yeah, man, Todd Phillips is a funny motherfucker when he wants to be. I guess we should start. So first impressions for you.
Okay, I really liked it. There was one scene in particular that I liked very, very much. It was when the gentlemen come up to him and they're questioning him, the police, about the incident. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm in the hospital with my mother.
Yeah.
And
he's
he
super
fucking
upset.
Storms off. All badass. The one badass moment he has, he tells his cops to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And then he just face plants into the fucking glass door at the hospital. It takes out all the steam and he's just stuck there looking like a fucking geek.
Yeah, and he's just waving. He's like waving at the thing so it can open automatically. That was hilarious.
That was a bad.
Hey, man, what's up? You got a visitor here.
We're pretty we're
sucking each other's
We're being
dicks.
pretty gay. I mean, you know,
butt fucking.
Yeah, handies, reach rounds.
Yeah, you too, man.
Rusted trombones.
What the fuck were we talking about? Oh, right.
Oh yeah, the movie.
Yes, that's right. Oh, yeah. The Joker, right?
Joker, 2019.
Look it up.
Have you noticed that they have to put 2019 because there's another movie called Joker?
Yes.
But I find it hilarious because, like, who the fuck knows what that other movie was now? Now that this one came out.
It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. What'd you think of the character selection with Joaquin Phoenix?
he did a very good job.
Yeah.
But I heard something that was like stupid to me. I heard that he said that he wanted to get hired on his laugh in particular. And I found that his laugh was the only thing wrong.
Okay.
Like, the Joker's a psychopath. The reason he's laughing is because he's having a great time. Mm-hmm. Like, as he's stabbing you and like fucking Batman over, he thinks it's fucking hilarious.
Yes.
And his laugh was like a tortured pain laugh.
It's because there was different ones, right?
Yeah, because of the whole, it is a tortured, painful laugh. He doesn't want to be doing it.
Right.
But I think the character, since I've been reading the comics and since I've been watching the movies and everything's come out, he really genuinely enjoys what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And like, he loves it. Yeah. And he's fucking about it.
But towards the end, he does
get there.
He loves it as well. And like, I was thinking, like, there's different laughs. There's like the tick that he has that's a laugh, and it's like painful and it like hurts him and shit. Then there's like the fake like laugh when he's trying to be fucking cool, the ha 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 whatever, when, like that scene with the other clowns. And he's laughing at the joke, but he's just trying to be cool. Or whatever, he's trying to be a part of the group.
And then there's that last laugh where he's fucking laughing.
Yeah, and that's the real one at the end, for real. Maniacal one. I love that scene where he's like with the this shit made me laugh too, when he's like with the clerk guy and he's all like, I did something kind of messed up. I thought I'd feel bad about it, but I don't.
My favorite was at the end when he's laughing and the lady's like, well, why are you laughing? He goes, you wouldn't get it.
Right.
That was my favorite because I got it immediately. Because I looked at Art and I was like, he's gonna kill her. That's why he's laughing, but he's not gonna tell her that. Right. He'll tell her as he's doing it.
Yeah, that was a real funny like scene, almost like Holy Grail kind of deal. Yeah, you know, they're like running back and forth. And you see him running, and then they're chasing after him. And then he runs back, back the other way, and then they're chasing him back.
But my favorite thing about that was when he walked out. He had the bloody footprints, and then he got to a point where he had traction on his shoes again. I thought that was a nice touch. Like, they didn't like, he slipped, because no,
it dried
he
off.
walked off the blood. You guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, my overall impression of the movie was this was a deep dive into mental health issues,
right? But
not in a haphazard bullshit way,
right?
And not in a victimized look at this guy way. It was what it was. It was painting you as the loser you are when you have those fucking feelings.
Right.
You become a sad sack. You become pathetic.
Exactly.
It is what it is. That's what the disease does to you.
Right, exactly.
So it was the picture of a person who is a fucking loser.
Yes.
And that was the whole point of the movie. And the thing that I didn't like is people were like, they're going to glorify him. And I was like, no, if you watch the movie, it's a total takedown of the character.
Right.
The point is,
I felt
he's
bad
just
for
this fucking loser.
Right. Yeah.
And you're not supposed to be like, get him.
Yeah. No, at the end of the opposite. Towards the end, I was rooting for him the whole time. Yeah. I was like, man, not rooting for him as in like, I hope he kills everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I had forgotten that the movie was about the Joker at that
exactly.
point.
You want him to snap out of it.
Yeah. I'm like, please, dude, just fucking go back to the counselor or whatever.
Get your medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it done. Like,
and that was...
I want him to be a happy clown again with those kids. Dude, by the way, that was the best scene when the fucking gun falls out and he's like,
oh my God. And he looks at the kid and he's like, shh.
But just his body language and like slipping on the shoes, trying to grab it, that was the funniest shit.
Yeah, it was real funny, man. Like, I tell people, man, this was funnier than It was funnier than Hangover 3.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Todd Phillips... I don't know. And I mean, Juan was telling me, I didn't realize this, but people were criticizing him. They were like saying, well, what is this guy's trying? He's like a try hard. He's trying to be Scorsese or something. And it's like, not at all, man. Not at all.
Like, if you watch the movie, you realize he doesn't give a shit within the first 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Like, and not that he doesn't give a shit about the movie. He doesn't give a shit what you think about the movie.
Right. He made the movie.
For him.
Yeah. And it was dope. I liked it.
And also, it was totally The Taxi Driver, and it was totally King of Comedy. And so much so... to the point where they put De Niro in the movie.
Right, as an homage. Like, I would say that, yes, it was like an homage to those in terms of like certain plots, but I don't think the movie was the same. Like, people have been comparing it to it. I rewatched Taxi Driver, and he's driven by moral ethics still.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
But what I mean is, in the same way at the beginning of Taxi Driver that this dude was a total geek loser,
Yeah,
he was a total geek loser.
That's true.
In the same way that he was super obsessed with the TV host.
Right.
If you watch King of Comedy, that guy's totally obsessed with Jerry Lewis and ends up kidnapping his ass.
Yeah.
So like that, those are the two
like kind of nods.
De Niro
There was like a bunch of homages and shit to those films, and I agree with you. But like a lot of folks are comparing it to it in terms of like the movie direction and shit like that. Like I would say, like I said to Juan, that like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy are like high art films.
Yeah.
And this is not a high art film.
No, it's not.
No. It's like gritty and like
the way I see it,
rudimentary, I guess.
As far as he borrowed characteristics from those movies to base the movie character.
Kind of. Oh, I think the movie character was there, and he kind of like, it's like, oh shit, yeah, this is fucking King of Comedy.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like we should like put that in there, get Robert in there.
You know, it'd be really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I feel he made the movie.
Exactly.
He's like, it'd be really cool if we did this, and he's like, why the fuck wouldn't I do that?
Exactly, and that's what I think. There was people like talking about the Gary Glitter thing. Yeah, because I don't know if you know what he did. Okay, so Gary Glitter is like a 3-time convicted pedophile. Okay, the guy who wrote the was it the name of the song Rock Song 2 or some shit like that? Yeah.
It's called Rock and Roll Part 2.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Part 2,
which is the best name for a song ever.
Yeah, and I didn't know this, but Rock and Roll Part 1 is the same song but with lyrics. I didn't know that. That's
amazing.
Yeah,
no, Part 2 is way better.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, Gary Glitter was convicted of pedophilia, went to jail, and he went to Thailand after he got out of jail for fucking kids, and then he fucked some more kids in Thailand.
I was gonna say, like, that's where you go to fuck kids.
And then he got in jail. He was in a Thai jail for like I don't know how many years.
But they're okay with that.
No, they're not apparently because he was in Thai. He was in Thai. I guess
he didn't know that.
He did it the one way you're not supposed to do it in Thailand. I guess
in front of their prince or whatever.
Or he tried to fuck the prince.
Am I right? Like just pointing to this junk and the kid. Like.
So then he was there for a while, and then he got out and went to England, and then he promptly fuck some more kids in England, and he's back in jail again. So a bunch of people were upset about the song being in the movie. And I think, honestly, I honestly think that Todd Phillips is like, it'd be really fucking funny. Yeah. Fucking put that Gary Glitter song in there. Yeah. It's nuts. You know what I mean?
Also, it's hilarious. Yeah. That song in general is funny. I saw a really good mashup online. A meme came out of this. It was amazing.
Right.
In one episode of The Simpsons, Homer Simpson sings that fucking song. So they smash cut him doing like the whole setup, and then it just cuts to Homer Simpson going da 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 hey da, da. It was fucking amazing.
That is amazing.
Twitter, man, you gotta fucking love it.
You love it and hate it. It's incredibly toxic for me.
For what I do it for, it's the best.
I get some lols out of it every once in a while. Piss off some like angry white people.
Oh yeah,
that's one of my favorite things to do on Twitter. By the way. Anyways, back to this. There was one article that talked about that. Gary Glitter thing, and somebody said this, and it's burned into my brain because it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And I hear a lot of stupid shit. Those are fun. Like you have to understand, I'm like plugged into what's going on, like politically and shit. Yeah. And I hear stupid shit constantly, right? By people in the news, by everybody, right? Yeah. And this fucking person is like talking about the Gary Glitter song, and they say this song was picked out. It was put back into the spotlight from musical obscurity, and I was like, where have you been? Yeah, anywhere. It's like yeah, dude, have you ever been to a fucking pep rally in your life? Have you ever been to any stadium ever at any type of event? Like even a fucking cakewalk for my kids who were playing that fucking song. Yeah. What is the teacher trying to say? She's trying to fuck the kids because she played the Gary Glitter song at a fucking like musical chairs contest.
You know what? 1, no. 2, Gary Glitter is. 3, he's not invited.
Right.
Like they took the precautions. He's in jail.
Yeah.
Like you can play his song.
Right.
He's not gonna. He's not the fucking Candyman.
He's just gonna show up, start fucking everybody.
You just fucking go da 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 da. Hey, 1.
Yeah,
and then you get to 3 and he shows up and he's like,
and he's rock hard.
Yeah,
he's just fucking rock hard, ready to fuck kids. It's pretty horrific. But yeah, people were upset. He's like, is he going to get royalties? He's like, no, of course not. He's not going to get any fucking royalties, which is cool because we could just play it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, I was going to put it in the intro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my plan.
You should do the Homer Simpson version now, though, because it's amazing.
I think we're getting sidetracked, Kevin.
We are, but I just want to hear it because it's really good. Just put
you make this impossible
football
sometimes.
song. It's so good, though. It's because you don't know. If you knew, we would just acknowledge that it happened. But since you don't know,
I already did, dude.
No.
What is it? Football what?
Football song. Just put football song, Homer Simpson.
God damn it. So fucking stupid.
Yeah, dude. It is.
You gotta tell me which one it is, man.
It should be the short one. Yeah, try this 25-second one here. Oh. No, impossible. Nope. Stop. I'm ready to give up. I've sidetracked us hard enough.
Yeah, fuck this shit.
I apologize.
Kevin, you fucking piece of trash.
It's what I do. It's what I do. Also, song 2 is a good song, but not in that context, and I'm very upset.
I've never heard of song 2.
You never heard that song?
No. Don't make me play it for the
No, you don't have to.
Okay,
but
good.
It's the one that goes, when I feel heavy metal, whoa.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Song 2 is by Blur. It's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. What the fuck were we? Oh, yeah. People's reactions and shit like that.
Man, fuck people and their dumb reactions to some stupid shit they didn't even see.
Here's my thing. If you, remove everything, right? Like, there's people saying, this movie came out in the wrong time.
That's fucking stupid.
And it's insane because it's the only time I think that this movie would have come out and it would be this successful.
Yeah.
I think if this movie came out in 2006, it would have been an okay movie.
Yeah, trash.
You know?
When it should have come out, when it probably would have come out, and it did come out, is when it was King of Comedy and it came out in the 70s and nobody knows that fucking movie except weirdos like us. So that's what would have happened.
That's true. It's a great film, man. It was awesome. It had everything. I really like the cinematography. I was pointing that out prior to this, that every scene with him in it is super cluttered. Yeah. And you get a sense that the city, the city's crushing him. You know what I mean? There's no empty spaces. No. It's almost hard to breathe and shit like that. I thought that was really cool. The one cool thing that happened in this movie to me that relates back to Batman lore. I was glad when his parents ate it at the end. Oh, right. Yeah. I was like, your dad's a dick. Those guys are assholes.
Fuck you. And your mom's
his dad was awful, Thomas Wayne.
He was a piece of shit.
I really like that dichotomy that they added to it because, again, it's something that it has to be at this era now because at least for some folks, for me at least, this myth of the benevolent trillionaire, you know what I mean? Helping everybody and unconditionally and shit like that.
I just really like that they portrayed him the way that they are.
Right, just rich assholes.
Right,
yeah.
And fuck what you think.
Exactly.
You don't know any better.
He wasn't even a good father to fucking Bruce Wayne.
No, he wasn't.
He just let him get molested by a stranger. Yeah. And then when you meet the stranger that molested your kid and give him flowers. No, even before he beat his ass. Because when he's like, hey, you were there with my kid, right? Yeah. And he's all like, that's fucked up. And then it's not until fucking Arthur Fleck is like, you're my dad. And he's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. He wasn't even upset that he stuck his hands in his kid's mouth. You know what I mean?
Listen. Never would have made you.
Yeah, exactly.
Your mother was crazy.
But that's another thing that I was that was funny. No, she was fucking nuts. But what if she wasn't nuts? And this is another thing that I liked about the movie, because at the end of the movie, it's a Joker origin story. Yeah. But you still don't know what the fucking origin is.
Yeah, that's
at the end
point.
of the movie. Cause what if Thomas Wayne just did some rich people shit and had her committed?
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he finds that picture that is you make my dick hard or whatever the fuck it said. It's something fucking weird. I can't remember what it was. Do you remember?
No.
It had a picture of Thomas Wayne with the mom. In the back, it says something like I miss you or some fucking shit like that. Some weird.
Like that. The thing that I liked about the movie that is in canon with everything else is
his hair was green.
No. Sometimes his hair isn't green.
Right, Kevin.
Did you see the movie? It was brown most of the time. God.
Get the fuck out of here.
Stupid fuck. God, use your eyes, retard.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so his hair was brown. But no, the thing with every Joker origin is he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Right.
It could be anything. That's the whole point. and he's always lying. He's always lying. That's the point of the whole origin thing.
But in this film, they don't.
They covered it well in Dark Knight when he's like, "You want to know how I got these scars?"
But in this movie, they didn't do that. It was like, it wasn't that he was lying. It was like he's delusional. Like he's delusional,
and he doesn't care.
Right? Exactly.
That was the point
like
that I was trying to make. That
I think
you're not supposed to care because he doesn't. It doesn't affect him.
Yeah, at the end, it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like throughout the whole film, he was desperately trying to find some sort of identity. You know?
Yeah,
what
but
I mean?
if you go through the other origins, this is the same thing. The guy's a fucking loser, and his life is falling apart.
Right,
and he just gets so desperate, and then he falls into a vat of chemicals.
You're right, which I thought would have been an interesting nod. And now I would have hated it if they did that.
Yeah, they found a way to put him in a vat of chemicals. I probably would have gotten upset. But no, like Ace Chemical. That is my favorite origin story. Is the
Red Hood thing?
Yeah, Red Hood thing. Yeah. I mean, they could have done a nod to that too if he would have owed somebody money.
Right.
Like, not even necessarily like the Red Hood thing, because that would have made it too
on the nose,
comic booky.
Yeah, gotcha.
But he could have owed somebody money, and that fucked him, in a certain respect.
Mm-hmm.
But I very much like the whole mask thing.
Okay.
And I like that they strongly imply that the criminal element took advantage of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, they were
in the background.
Yeah, they were down to fuck shit up,
and
they used this as like a reason to.
Right.
And they propped him up.
I don't know how much.
I don't know how much.
I don't know how much. But at least in my opinion, right? I don't know how much the criminal element was. I guess I'm going to talk about the politics of the movie. At least for me, it was really interesting. I really liked it. The movie starts off with a garbage strike.
Yeah.
Right. So it's already like there's some sort of. To me, the movie was a class war movie that was like he used that as like the backdrop, and it's cool that the Joker doesn't give a fuck about it. I thought that was really interesting because prior to that, like, he's existing in this world and he's like completely isolated, right? And he has some sort of like help, some governmental help, right? And Thomas Wayne also, he's the guy running for mayor or some shit like that. Yeah. And they're like proposing cuts and all kinds of shit, like austerity. And like in my mind, when I watched it, I was like, man, like I was watching it and it's like, this is super on the nose about class conflict and shit, like in the background. And he uses that, like, at least to me, by my opinion, he used that as like the catalyst, but a missed catalyst, because the Joker could have realized that his wrongings or him losing his mind further than he already was an absolute product of the state, right? Because the state, he had the help. He had the medication that kept him in track. Because if you remember in the beginning of the movie, there's always, it seems like there was outside pressures that just pushed him just the right amount. Because you remember when the kids beat the shit out of him, they were like, he kind of was like, man, I shouldn't have fucking chased him. It's a fucking sign. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the other guy's like, nah, man, fuck that. Here's a gun or whatever. Yeah, exactly. And there's like some social pressures there. And there in the whole background, there's this whole revolt of people upset about like inequality and shit like that. And it's all over the place. Like it's like too on the nose, because there's like newspapers that are like, kill the rich and all kinds of shit.
Exactly. But I like that it is literally not affecting the story
at all. Right.
It's the best.
It didn't have anything to do with it, but it was interesting to me. The thing that was interesting to me, that the whole story is him falling off like the wagon or whatever, going nuts and missing out on class solidarity, in that if he would have come to the terms that the reason why, shit's so bad is, one, he's nuts. Two, you had help. It was taken away from you by the state, right? The state took it away from you.
And quite literally, your antagonist, Thomas Wayne. Exactly.
These people that are like, austerity driven. And it really showed, it did a really good job of showing how most people act in society, in that they get the way our system is designed to make people feel like being a capitalist, that you are an individual first and nothing else matters, right? Like you get so atomized. Like he was so atomized that he missed out on the true villains or whatever that were making him be in the shitty situation, because he could have had like job training programs or whatever the fuck, right? Yeah, they could get him out of that.
Social help, any kind of
social help. None of it. It was actually taken away from him. And if he would have had any kind of class consciousness, he would have realized that. And everyone around him was having that class consciousness. There's people that were revolting against the system and shit like that. And he missed it completely because he's been so atomized and he was pushed like because of that same mentality of being like an isolationist and an individual. He was pushed away from class solidarity and class consciousness into like abject nihilism and resorted to like meaningless violence. And he thought, and in his mind, it was like, it was a reaction to him. But the thing is, the people around him mistook his actions as something that he was fighting for some goal to like show that fuck the rich. No, he was just doing it because the people were assholes. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's, I guess what I meant by the criminal element is there was an element of that, the criminal, the guys who
at the end
bash him in the truck and pull him out and put him on the car. That, but I also, the thing that got me is everybody rallied around him.
Right. For the wrong reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
On a misconception.
Yeah, exactly.
And that I thought was very well done.
Yeah.
Because he's not an agent of change.
No, at all. He missed that completely.
Exactly. Yeah. But the people saw him as one.
Right. And they took him
as whatever.
One. As like some guy
even though he's just some fucking loser.
Right. He's just some lunatic.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And the cool thing about that is it mirrors the reaction people are having to the movie.
Exactly.
They're missing the point completely.
Completely, yeah.
And if they were to just watch the movie, they'd know that, but they're too stupid.
And it's a really interesting fucking dichotomy that's going on outside with like mainstream. These people are like the arbiters of popular culture, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones that decide what to watch, what not to watch, what their opinions. They put out their opinions out. And in some way, to me, this movie kind of showed how everyone's fucking nuts, and everyone has turned into, you remember back in the day when, you know, moms were like listening to their kids' records backwards and shit. And like there might be satanic, like everyone,
panic.
like Trump has turned all of mainstream media into that mom. Yeah, it's like we need to like root out everything that
goes back in Trump form.
Exactly, or no, like Trump has caused everyone to become Gore. You know what I mean in that aspect, because everyone's like, oh man, this fucking white nationalists. Like everything from, you know, the movies about the Central Park Five, or it's racist, or it's an excuse for white terrorism. And all this shit. And it's like, no, dude, not at all. Like, you're missing the point completely. The movie is on the nose about class war that was missed. Like, we're all missing it. Like, we're all like we're focusing on the wrong thing. And that's what the movie kind of like illustrated in the background is like, you know, you like he's focusing on the wrong thing, and everyone outside of the film was focusing on it was fucking nuts. It was nuts. It was kind of cool to see. And I thought it was real funny because people lost their shit over this fucking movie, you know?
And I also thought it was pretty on the nose and good foresight to make your character your movie. Mm-hmm. And to be like, he's going to get used by the general population, whether he wants to or not.
Right. And the thing is
that's just how the movie goes. And the movie is being used to drive a narrative that is not intended to.
Right.
And he had enough foresight to know that was going to happen. And that's really fucking cool.
Yeah. And and the thing is that I've always thought that the Joker has always been like a lens in which you can kind of see what's going on with society. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like even like Cesar Romero Joker was kind of like goofy in the 80s and shit, like Contra. And it was kind of like, if you think about it, and I might be like, I'm guilty of overthinking things all the time. But like, I remember like Cesar Romero, and he was kind of like a goofy prankster kind of shit. And that was the time when we were trying to like kill Castro with like poison condoms and shit like that. Yeah. Like goofy shit, right? And it was almost like it was a reflection of the stupidness of what's going on.
Yeah, and all those fucking assassination attempts that were just like dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Exploding cigars. Yeah. Shit like that. You know what I mean? So
some Joker ass.
Yeah, some Joker ass shit. Yeah. And like you remember fucking like fucking after 9/11 you had Heath Ledger with his fucking like super gritty fucked
brooding
up
ass
shit,
like smarter than everyone around him.
Joker. Exactly. And then there was like Jared Leto that was like the fucking like the Instagram narco Joker.
I was gonna say like he basically reminded me of like what gangsters like think that they want to be like.
Yeah, like the Chapo's kid.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chapo's like nephew
son
that's
is the Joker. It was Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if you read it. He was very upset like about this movie.
Yeah, he got all butthurt about it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, my laugh was better. And all. Dude, you were in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
Your tattoos were stupid as shit.
Yeah,
and
man.
that was probably your idea.
Probably.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
I wonder if he a name drop being in that stupid band.
Yeah. I was in 30 Seconds to Joker. And like
during the casting.
It's been like 30 seconds. So like, could you it says damage on my face.
I like to think that every time he says his name, he says, 30 seconds from Mars, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yeah.
Every time he goes to like Burger King and he's like, oh, this is Jared Leto from 30 seconds from Mars. I'd like a number 1, please.
I'd like you to get it ready in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I want it to be 30 seconds to my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get to Mars in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I need this hamburger
I have
stat.
a trip coming up
Yes.
to Mars.
I'm so dumb.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. But no, like he seems like the type of person that takes himself way too seriously.
Absolutely.
Like my favorite thing in Fight Club was when they fucked him up, and because I think that was a good casting because he has the most
punchable
face.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah.
Dude, I would just love to punch her in the face.
Dude, some people have real pie face faces.
Yeah,
too.
dude,
like,
for
I just
real,
want to
man.
mush their fucking, get the fuck out of here.
It's the only time Kellyanne Conway is the only time that I'm like pro domestic abuse. To be honest with you,
that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, shockingly little of the domestic abuse in this movie.
Yeah, there was very little.
Back around, very little. I figured he would have gone nuts on his mom and at least. He
murdered her.
That's true, but no, I thought there would be like an errant slap or like a disrespectful, but no, he was just like, it's time to snuff your ass.
Yeah. I thought that was fucking.
That was rad too.
Dude,
yeah.
I laughed at that. I don't know why. I started cracking up.
But I know why, and it's not cool.
Oh man, I got some like deep seated shit, right? I'm like, oh fuck you, mom.
Oh hey,
I just got up and I was like, yeah.
Did you have that thing that happened to me? Well, I don't know if probably not, but I'm one of the individuals that takes almost the exact amount of pills that he was taking at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And I was like, a little too close. Maybe it's a little too many pills and he shouldn't be as begrudging as he used to take them. Because every time I look at mine, I'm like, ugh, not again. So yeah, it got real weird in a couple spots where I literally put myself in that position, and I was like, no, this is not cool.
See, that's why I'm telling you, man. That's why you need to revert to class solidarity, homie.
Yeah,
fuck that shit.
No, and I'm down with that, and I'm also like totally down with being used as a symbol too. That'd be funny.
That would be funny. Yeah.
But like again, I think it would be that Joker situation where people would be like, they're really rallying around you, Kevin, and I'd be like, that's dumb.
As soon as they meet you and shit,
yeah,
they're like, oh wait, what?
Fucking what? The fuck is wrong with you?
Oh man, we fucked up.
Yeah,
I made a mistake.
Yeah, you're certainly not in charge, but we'll let you be the cover. Though.
Yeah, you'll be the mascot.
Just don't do anything weird, weirder than you're already doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. It was weird. I don't know, man. How can I put this, man? The reaction to the film was like crazy, overblown, and like I said, it's like it to me, it like illustrated like Trump hysteria. Like everyone's like super like, oh, we need to be careful about everything, And even Todd Phillips, like when they asked him about the movie, it's like, it's mostly about you can't be funny anymore or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what he said, and it cuts down to one of my favorite scenes where the old lady when he's with Bob De Niro and he's telling him the knock knock joke, right? And it's Dr. Ruth, right? Basically, and he's all like. He does a knock knock joke, which is hilarious. The knock knock joke is like knock knock.
Really funny.
He's like knock knock, and he's like, "You came all this way for a knock knock joke or whatever." He's like, "Yeah, whatever, just do it." And he's like, "Okay, who's there?" And he's like, "It's the police. Your son's been killed in a drunk driving accident." And then a really funny part to me was it cut back to this lady that's supposed to be Dr. Ruth going like, "You're not supposed to say that." And in my head, I'm instantly like,
"You're not supposed to say fuck me in the pussy as much as you say out loud, lady."
Exactly. It's like this lady that talks about how dry her pussy is on TV and like what dildo best fills her twat. Shit like that. You know what I mean? That to me was supremely hysterical. I started cracking up like
and it really goes to show how much he thought about that shit when he put the thing together.
Yeah, he's a really funny. He makes really he's a really good comedy director. Like and even the cuts in that scene were funny as shit. Yeah, it was good.
I think my favorite
also the scene where he kisses the midget. And he's like, "You've always been nice," and he tries to get out and he can't reach it, and
Yeah.
he starts laughing.
Yeah, that
great.
was fucking amazing.
This is a classic like slapstick,
Yeah.
like super not PC because he's like making fun of he's a
Yeah,
fucking
he's
midget.
tiny.
You know what I mean?
He can't get out. He's tiny. What's he gonna do? He did jump for it, right? Like,
yeah, he tried. He was like jumping a couple of times.
Dying
dude.
laughing.
I was in stitches, dude.
Yeah,
like I was
good
fucking
shit.
like cracking up because it's the kind of dumb shit that I laugh at, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny as fuck.
Yeah, it was, dude. I think
or the celebrating thing too, right before he murdered the guy.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's up with the white face? You got another job?" And he's like, "No, my mom died." Just celebrating.
I think the one that made me laugh like way too much, like, was when he was dancing, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a pretty good dancer."
Yeah. He's
like,
talking
"You know
to
who's
himself.
Not that guy.
He shoots the fucking gun. Yeah,
and it's total fucking. It's total whatever the fuck it's called, where you show what's gonna happen before it happens.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing, because he literally does the same extension of his arm to blast an ear in the face. I was like, oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And that's not what I should have been thinking. You get what you fucking deserve. And I was like, dude, I've said that to people. Like, I felt horrible. I was like,
oh
ugh.
Shit, dude. That's
but
funny.
no, it's true. Like what do you think is gonna happen? I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Bang.
Juan, I'm going to use this to like as a segue, just so I can know where to paste this.
Yes, it has all that stuff about it's about the lower class and the poor people and the rich people, and the only thing that really confused me about it was I don't really know what time it was set at.
The 70s.
It looks like the 70s,
Yeah.
but whenever you're like, okay,
Somebody walked around with an iPad. No, I'm just
no,
kidding.
so think about this. Okay, so it looks like early 80s, late 70s, right?
Right.
When it's like with the poor people,
Mm-hmm.
but whenever it's the rich people, it looks like you're like in the 40s.
Yeah, because they're in the like fancy schmancy fucking like.
It doesn't make any sense, dude.
Right.
Like they're watching a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell's going on here?
Well, they're like.
Was it like an homage night or something, or like a tribute night to? Like I don't get it. You know what I mean? When they go to the theater, they go like they're dressed in like their. What movie were they watching? I forgot what it was.
It was a Charlie Chaplin movie.
No, but when they leave the theater, but when they get killed, Bruce Wayne and his parents.
That was the same movie.
Was it? No, it was something
Yeah,
else.
it all happened at the same time. No, at that. No.
No,
That's
no,
true. You're
it's-
right. Excuse me. I can't fucking remember what it was.
They were watching some movie, and it has to do with.
But they had gone to some like fucking fancy rich
Yeah.
people gala.
But yeah, like the way it looks. So
Uh-huh.
I couldn't set a time to when this movie actually happened.
Mhm.
It looks like the 70s or 80s.
Right.
But then, so that just led me to believe like this movie might not all be real.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So to you, there wasn't like a fixated
Exactly.
point because of that. Okay.
So I think about it as if the Joker or Arthur's, he thinks of the rich people in this certain way. So that's how he imagines that they live their lives.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I definitely think that the whole movie, it did happen, of course. I'm not saying it's all fake, but I don't think it happened the way that we saw it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'm going to get into specifics here.
Do it.
There's some weird stuff in this movie that makes no sense to me. One is when it was actually set. The other thing is when let me get my thoughts in order here. I should have prepared. What was it? It's the we're talking about it earlier. What did I mention? I totally blanked out. Oh, okay. When he's talking to the social worker,
Right.
in the very beginning of the movie, and she mentions Arkham to him, and it cuts for like a split second of him banging his head on a window
Yes.
at Arkham in like a white like padded room or whatever. So I think that when they mentioned Arkham to him, we got a glimpse into what was actually happening in real time.
Okay.
So
like
that
was like a glimpse of what was the reality.
like he hit his head, and it's like, hey, no, get back to the story. And boom, we went back into the story.
Okay.
It's like on the nose. That's what the director was trying to show us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, no, come back. Like, okay, let's get back to the story that I'm telling here, or back into my mind or whatever, which is Arthur's mind, right? And the whole movie continues, and of course he has his delusion when he sees Robert De Niro's character, and he's there with his mom, and they're having dinner, and he's like on the TV or whatever. You
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah.
And he's
yeah.
talking. He's like, "Oh, you're like the son I never had." So that shows us, of course, that Arthur Fleck never had a father.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, they're gonna say, "Oh, Thomas Wayne," and all that stuff comes
Right,
up.
right.
So, what was he talking about? Oh yeah, the delusion stuff, right?
Yes.
And of course, he goes through the delusions with the chick.
Right.
That's all a delusion, which they show at the end, which they didn't have to, but they did.
They did it.
And then the other stuff that I also think was definitely a delusion is the whole him being like
Okay.
a glamorized, where everybody was just like,
At
hey,
the end, when they embrace him and
the
shit?
whole thing, dude. When he's on a date with the chick,
Oh,
and
okay.
he sees the guy in the taxi cab wearing a mask of the Joker.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like that's all in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that was wearing a Joker mask is in his head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think none of that happened. He was
Right.
never put at a higher tier of like, hey, we're gonna follow this guy. He's our god now.
Right.
That's all fucking make believe, dude.
Okay. Okay.
It's all part of his delusion.
So,
Because you got to remember, he was never liked.
right.
So
by
every
anybody.
time, every
Right.
time that he imagines somebody like accepting him, and whenever he feels happy, like it's all fake.
It's all fake.
Like that's what I think, and that's definitely what they show us when he's doing his stand up and he's just bombing.
Yeah, but he's doing great.
But
in his mind,
and then in his
at the
mind, he's doing
time.
great, and then Robert De Niro's character, he's like
Here it is, the reality of it was terrible.
yeah.
Well, here's my question to you.
Okay.
Because so what it sounds to me, what you're saying is that most of the story is in his mind. The only he was kind of fabricating the whole thing in his head.
So the director's
He
giving
was-
us glimpses. He's giving us clues like, hey,
Right.
every time that he's happy, it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right.
it's not real. You know
and
what
I
I mean?
agree with you. But there's a lot of the movie where he's not happy.
That might be with his actual reality, and he's
Well,
retelling it
So here's my question.
with a girlfriend. He's retelling it where you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In
So
his
here's my question. Like if he was in Arkham the whole time, like as you said, like he's banging his head and it's like, no, go back to this to your story, to your ideal or whatever. When he realizes that the girlfriend is not real, that's also in his mind?
I don't think it's in his mind. I think it was a way of telling the audience all this is bullshit.
Okay.
And
so
but it doesn't fit.
Well, but that doesn't fit in like what
Yeah.
you're saying though, because
Yeah.
like the reason why it doesn't fit is like it would fit. Like he would have to be imagining everything and being like, I'm imagining this. My life sucks. Oh man, this is cool.
So
Then every time he imagines something's cool is when he's thinking. But
no, think about it. That okay, so we're looking into his mind, right?
well, you're
His
saying
retelling of this story.
You're saying that the whole thing was a retelling of the story.
It's a retelling of a story.
Okay.
And of course, he might have been stalking this chick.
Right. He was.
He might have been, and then this actually really happened 15 years ago. Whenever he was
Right.
out in the streets as a normal person before he got sent to Arkham.
Right.
Before he shot Robert De Niro. You know what I mean? He could have been.
But that
stalking
was
this-
also like a.
no. So let me finish. So
Okay, gotcha.
He could have been stalking this chick, and he imagined, like, man, if only I would have banged her. So he's like retelling this in his head, like, no, I had a girlfriend. He said, but then like you get glimpses of other stuff. It's like, well, remember, she wasn't really real.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, like how do I fix that in my head to tell the story? Oh well, I walk into that whatever.
So like the movie is like. To you, or you thought was that the movie was him retelling the story and then running into plot holes of his like
yeah, because he can't really figure out a way to end the story with a girlfriend because it never happened.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it's confusing because
it's confusing
because you would it's almost more complicated because he would have to be imagining certain things. And then, like, you can't tell what's reality and what isn't at that point because he's imagining, yes, the girlfriend was not true. And he realizes that, like you're watching it and he goes into her house. Like if he's imagining or he's telling a story or he's fabricating a story and it's like, yeah, man, I had this girlfriend and he's imagining it. Oh, maybe but she wasn't really my girlfriend.
Well,
she was lying to me.
Think about it from a story point. The girl has no point in the movie.
At
She
all.
has no reason to be there other than to show the audience
that he's fucking
that
delusional.
he's fucking delusional.
Right, yeah,
That's
that
the
he's
only
batshit.
reason why she's there.
Absolutely.
She has no arc. She has no like conclusion to her story. So at the very end, it's just not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't even show if he kills her.
Right.
It doesn't show anything. So,
but like I don't
she
think
was
he
pointless.
did. Like I don't think he did because the people that you see getting killed is somebody that's done some wrong to him.
Yeah.
Like either his mother or fucking the Wall Street guys or Robert De Niro. It's always people that have been wronged, and he never thought anything negative about the girl.
All the people he killed, I think he really did kill, which is why he's at Arkham.
Okay, so it happened.
It happened
like before.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's like a retelling of it. Right?
Yeah, it's like a retelling through his mind, and he's gonna make it up wherever
So
he wants.
why have such an emphasis on the class struggle in his storytelling if he didn't give a shit about it?
I think that's just the director
Adding
trying to put
something?
making it like, wait, makes sense a lot,
Relevant
make
to
it
today.
relevant and stuff.
Oh, okay. I get you.
And it makes an interesting story too.
That's true.
And it adds a struggle to like a reason why he would go delusional and like be off his meds and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And a reason to hate Thomas Wayne because it's showing like the Wayne family in a different light,
right?
Rather than
he's
they're
kind of
always
like Bill Gates type of dude.
Yeah, so it makes
does
him
good and
the Joker
not
is
really.
the villain in this movie,
Right.
but he's not really in this story. He's the villain in the Batman saga.
Mhm.
But he's not the bad guy in this movie. The bad guy, of course, it's the rich, it's the state, like the way you're saying.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter what he thought. He was wrong. I just need to put something. So whatever. So Juan had a thought, and it's dumb, and you just heard it if you're listening to this.
Yeah, I was told about it, and
I gave him a lot of shit.
Strongly disagree.
Yeah, I gave him a lot of shit for it because it doesn't make any sense it makes sense to him, and I think that it's the laziest possible explanation, right?
Yeah,
like come on, man, like
when
you can
explained to me,
be a little creative. You know what I mean?
That was like the step you needed,
right?
To make this like Inception or whatever. Like,
exactly.
What happened was
it was a dream.
It's a movie about dreams and.
No, it was a movie about him being a lunatic.
And no, but this one's about dreams,
right?
And they were dreaming,
right? So. And like he said, like I told you, and I told him also, like the theory that like the section in which at the beginning of the film when he's talking to the psychiatrist and she's like, "You were in Arkham," and it splits back, and he's banging his head.
Yeah.
He says that was like a glimpse into reality. Like he never left Arkham; he was there, and he's just explaining the story. Like it's a delusion, an extended delusion is the entire film. But the thing that I like run into problems with is when he realizes that they're delusions in the explanation of his delusion.
Yeah,
like it's a delusion within a delusion,
and then he never thinks that what he might be going through is also a delusion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a psychological turducken,
like a Russian doll. Yeah. Russian nesting doll, and it's like, wait, what? But I'm crazy. But what if I'm not? It's like when you dream in a dream.
Yes. Yeah.
Again,
I don't think
back
I've
to
ever
Inception.
done that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, I've had it happen. I wake up and I'm like, fuck, man, where the fuck am I? And I wake up again and I'm like, what the fuck was that about?
I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
I think you're lying.
No, it's happened to me a couple times. It's really fucking weird because like I always start laughing when it happens, and it's like a strange thing because it's 4:30 in the morning and you just hear me go,
that's horrific.
And my dogs must be frightened.
Yeah.
Because they're like, why is he was asleep a
why
second
are you
ago.
laughing, homie?
Yeah.
You all right, G?
Yeah. And clearly no.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But yeah, I think that my favorite, not moment, but my favorite thing that happens in the movie is that I was bothered and very upset when he got with that girl. I was like, this goes against the character.
Right.
He shouldn't have any confidence. He should be losing his fucking mind.
And
they paid that off
by saying he was.
Yeah. He was a total loser. He was totally fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he was losing his mind.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized in the movie, I was like, this guy struggles with mental health issues. Like, I don't give a fuck what he says. Whoever wrote this movie knows the struggle, bro.
Yeah, he's fucked up in the head.
Yeah,
also.
he's really fucked up.
And
so much so that he takes a shit on it throughout the movie. And it's like, that's what you do when you have mental health
Right.
issues. You're like, whatever. I don't even think about it because it's so dumb, you know? But people are like worried about you.
Right.
And it's like, hey man,
Yeah.
look, don't worry about that. I'm good now. I'm taking my pills. But if I start to act like a total maniac, that's when you need to worry. So he's shitting on the movie the whole time. And then when he actually goes full crazy, it's like, take it deadly serious.
Yeah, dude. Like, that was one thing about the movie is that it made me feel like really uneasy in certain points. I was like, oh no, something horrible is. But here's another thing with the girlfriend thing, going back to that. As soon as I saw him make out with her, I'm like,
There's
no, exactly.
Yeah.
There's something wrong here. This doesn't make any sense.
That's what I was saying. Like, this has no congruity. I hate this.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it turns out I was right.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
It rewarded us for being maniacs.
Right, exactly.
And knowing that would never happen.
Exactly. And it just says that we're all like incels that have been black-pilled, and the people that wrote those articles were right.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. No, it's not being an incel. It's not being weird. It's just being right. And knowing what you're capable of. And that motherfucker wasn't capable of landing that black girl. She was pretty.
She was pretty.
And he's a fucking creep.
He was a psycho lunatic. Yeah.
Like when he went into her house and she was like, what the fuck are you doing in my house?
Hey, man, you're my neighbor, right?
And he's like, hey, man, I'm going to cry on this couch, man. Which is like some weird shit. Which is like, if you have mental health issues, you've been in that situation where you barge into someone's life and you're like, look, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to lay all this shit in your lap and hopefully you can help. I'm going to cry now.
That's happened.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. I'm like, hey, man, I know this isn't the right time or place for this, but I'm going to have a mental breakdown on this couch.
And you're just like at HEB counter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking to the fucking dude, and he's just like, whoa.
Yeah,
it's
man,
just like,
I think you need to go to a doctor, bro.
He literally did that when he was talking to the clerk.
Yeah,
he
the clerk.
literally did that. He's just like talking. The guy's like, hey, man, I just file shit. You might want to talk to somebody.
Yeah. No, it was crazy because that was that moment of overshare that I always have. Like every single time I'm doing anything, I walk up to somebody and they're like, hey man, how's it going? I'm like, I don't know, man. I thought about killing myself about 25 minutes ago. And people were like, what the fuck? I didn't want to hear that. And I'm just like, that's funny.
Yeah. Their reactions are priceless, right?
Yeah, but like I don't realize I'm doing it till it's like too late. It leaves a room and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said any of that.
Shouldn't have told that to my doctor.
Yeah, that was a job interview.
Yeah, right.
I shouldn't have done that. I did do that one time. I was in a job interview.
Jesus Christ.
And the guy was like, hey, when's the last time you handled a rough situation? And I was like, well, this guy said this to me. And instead of bashing his face in, I told him to have a nice day. And I walked away. And I was like real proud of myself.
Yeah.
I was like, that was
Fucking
the last time.
crushed it.
That was the last time. And then I walked out and I clearly didn't get the call back.
Of course not.
Yeah. And I was thinking in my head, what could it have been?
Right, yeah.
And then I realized like 20 minutes later, I was like, you said some psycho shit.
I wonder if it was the thing where I admitted that I might have committed like manslaughter, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Kudos to me, am I right?
Yeah.
But I said I didn't do it.
But let me tell you something right now.
No, give me a second, because before I forget, because I promise, because the suicide thing, you know, it's like, oh, I thought about killing myself or whatever, and you go to like it'd be really funny. I'm thinking about you going to a job interview for like a suicide hotline or whatever.
I mean, I really believe that ultimately, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go.
It's like I've thought about killing myself several times today. You know what I mean? So what about this job? And you're just super morose and shit.
my favorite moment though, that real life moment right there when that happened to me, I was thinking in my head like, you know, I would have got that job if that guy had depression.
Like if he understood,
he would have been like, "Whoa, you didn't blast him in the face." I would have hired. So yeah,
you got the job.
Yeah, so
that's
turns out
weird, Kevin.
Middle-aged men who are balding and work at a fucking grocery store don't want to hear you fucking jerk yourself off about how you didn't attack a customer at your last job.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, Kevin.
I thought I was being relatable, bro. Turns out I wasn't.
You did the thing that Trump does, and in that you said the quiet part loudly. You know?
Yeah, that. Yeah. But to be fair, if we're being totally honest, I wasn't on my medicine at that time.
There you go.
And it took me 30 minutes to realize I made a mistake. Like, it really did. Like, I was thinking about it. I was really trying really hard to figure out what it was. And then it dawned on me. I was like, you don't know that guy.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe you don't say things like that out loud to people that don't know you already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even to people that do know you.
Dude, when I was working there at the call center, I'm guilty of that, saying shit that's just incredibly fucked up. And there's people next to me and they're like, holy shit. And I think I
Why
remember
would you ever do that? Yeah.
one time Jay, you know Jay, he was talking about like the Florida man meme thing, and it's like he was like, Google it. Like right now, I was at work, right on the work computer, and it was like one dude that fucked a flamingo, and Jay's like, that's fucked up, right? I'm like, dude, don't you know that flamingo pussy is the juiciest pussy out there? There you go. And there was a chick next to me, and she turned around, she's like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, oh, it's like
I'm attracted to pink birds, bitch.
Yeah, man, you don't fucking say those things.
They're the classiest birds around. They eat scramps and they turn them all pink.
So the thing is that I don't realize that I'm in public sometimes. And I'll say horrific shit. And Mo, thank God that she exists in my life because she's always reining me in.
Yeah, no, I need someone there to grab my arm and kind of like do the
listen, moron. You can't say that.
And not even just like the double squeeze, like you're being crazy. And then it's like, oh yeah, oops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do need like a monitor.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yeah. I told you about the thing.
I will do some shit. That is not okay. Dude, one time I told a kid that was like just a random kid. He was passing by. He's like, hey, do you have this or whatever? And I was like, no. And even if I did, why would I give it to you? I don't know you. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's not how you're supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to socialize like that. There was like a person at work that asked, like they were joking about something, and she said something jokingly, and like and she asked me, she goes, "Am I like right? You're on my side, right?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna have your back. I don't know who the fuck you are." You know what I mean?
You just dropped the realest thing you could on her.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not gonna fucking back you up, bitch. What the fuck?
We're on a crazy rock hurtling through space. I don't got time to care about you.
Do you realize how nuts it is out there?
Because I do. And
yeah.
I just, listen.
You're the bottom of my fucking pride. What the fuck are you talking about again?
Yeah, I think if
I have no time for strangers.
If I had that moment, I know exactly what I would say, and it would have been just as devastating, but in a different way. Mm-hmm. Look, she tells me that shit, and you got my back, right? Who are you? Like, who the fuck are you?
Why?
Yeah, what? Why would I ever have your back?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why are you talking to me?
Yeah. I've told people that before. Like, just don't stop. Yeah. Just stop talking to me. I'm super not interested in what you're saying right now.
I had a problem with this person that is tangentially around me. Mm-hmm.
I like that we've just diverged from talking about the Joker into talking about how fucking crazy. Nuts. Yeah.
But no, it was funny because like I'm a very, very distant person to strangers. I don't like them.
Yeah, that's why they're called strangers.
No. It's not just that. Like I actively
you stay away from
away from people.
Okay.
And there's this fucking person that came up and got way too close, way too quick, and started acting like we were cool. And I had to make it abundantly clear with body language and mean phrases to make sure they knew that where they stood in my life and how they needed to fuck off.
Right, yeah.
So the first thing I did is it came up and was like, hey man, how's it going? And I was like, ugh. I did that. I made that noise to signal like, hey man, I don't want this.
Yeah.
And it's working. Because the last couple times I've had to interact with this person, they ask me if it's cool to do stuff, which means they understand that I'm very uncomfortable and I don't want them around me. So, like, I train people that way because I'm a psycho.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you're not okay in the head.
No, I'm not. And I really hate it. I've gotten into so many close altercations.
Right.
Like, I had somebody put their hand on my back and I was like, don't ever fucking touch me. And it was like, whoa. And I was like, no, like you need to understand that if you put your fucking hands on me, it gives me free license to fuck you up.
Right.
And it was like, I just was like asking you a question. It's like, don't ever fucking touch me.
Yeah.
Like it's like
you ask your questions with your fucking hands or what?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when you walk by somebody's house and you don't know they have a vicious dog, and you're like, hey, it's a puppy, and it just starts to bite you through the fence, and it's like, oh, I didn't.
Yeah, you're a savage. My bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel bad in those situations, but it also that type of shit helps me relate to the character. So I brought it all the way back around.
Right. No, yeah, there's definitely things like it made me realize how fucked up I am.
Yeah.
But not like It not only did it make me realize how fucked up I am, because I know that and it's not that bad. You know, I'm just fucking like a little bit of a psychopath.
Yeah.
You know, but I realized that you can't do shit by yourself. Like that's the way I've been like handling my fucking like lunacy, is that like I just turn it into a haha. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no.
You know,
and that honestly,
and it's just like, no, I'm just sad.
That honestly is the best. That's that. Like that thing I showed you the other day or yesterday with the the Neil Brennan thing.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
that like rang home like
exactly.
crazy.
It totally, when I heard that joke, it crushed me. I was like, whoa, that's correct.
Yeah.
Like, man, Neil, you don't give a fuck. And he's just like, that's because I'm sad.
that shit hit home. Like,
yeah, man.
Gotcha.
It really explains everything. Like, ultimately, why do I act the way I do?
Yeah, like a fucking maniac.
Because nothing good happens.
Yeah.
And I don't care anymore.
Exactly. So might as well just be a fucking a psycho asshole up front.
Yeah.
And if people like it, fine. If not, well, fuck you.
Yeah,
know
exactly.
What I mean?
And I actually had to explain this to someone yesterday. Also, we were having a conversation. I can't remember how I get into these conversations, but I always end up getting into them. It was like, hey, when people try to talk shit to me, like, why am I so cool about it? And I told him, like, it's because there's 4 people on the planet that can upset me. And the reason is because I care about them.
Yikes. Yeah, I get you.
And outside of those 4 people, I do not value humans. So if some fucking asshole comes up to me and is like, hey, you're a fat piece of shit, I'm like, yeah, 1, yes. 2, who are you? 3, you could stop breathing in a second and I wouldn't even try to save you.
Yeah, it
I'd
matter.
laugh probably. They're like, hey, you called me fat, now you're choking. That sucks. If God's real, he doesn't like you. And then I'd take off. You know?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I've always been afraid of that. Like, there's certain people, like, there's a lot of people that I talk to and shit, and I know in my soul that if something happened to them, I would not give a fuck. Yeah, you know, at all.
Dude,
like,
that's like 98% of people. Like, and I only say, like, I really care about 4 people.
I don't know what my number is. There's probably more than that. Probably.
Maybe, but like,
I'd like to think at least.
It fluctuates.
I'm afraid that it's lower sometimes.
You know what? Honestly, it fluctuates, and I only really know when bad shit happens. But I'd say it's about, let's say, immediate family, immediate friends, and then 4, 5, 6, 7 people outside of that circle that I'd be devastated if they were to say something to me or if something were to happen to them. Everybody else, I have a severe lack of emotional attachment to people that I don't care about.
Right.
And the problem with that is I don't care about a lot of people. So when it's like a moral issue, like I studied sociology. You know why I can't study psychology or take it seriously? Because if I see a person, I'll tell you what's wrong with them and why, and I don't respect them anymore. I don't care what happens. But if it's a group of people, I can see beyond their individual flaws. But if you bring me a person, I'll be like, ugh, it's your hair, you fucking idiot. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I hope you get hit by a car. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I did. And it's like, good. You know what I mean? But if it's like a group of people, I'm like, oh, man, that sucks. Like,
right.
It's systematically stacked against you. And I understand genocide and fucking fucked you up, Native Americans.
Right.
I apologize. But if you show me like a fucking Native American what works at a casino and drinks all day and just is a dick, like, man, fuck you.
You suck.
Yeah. Guess why it happened? Because of you. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the wrong mindset, but
for being a psychiatrist, yeah. Or for just a human being, yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
No. So I told you the story, right?
My empathy only works in groups.
I get you. I don't know. I've become like calmer than I used to be.
Me too.
But I still have that there. Like I told you the story, and I'll tell you it again because it was a funny story. So the other day I was at Walmart, and we were shopping for dye for my costume, my obnoxious costume. And Mo got like a dye, and she put it back in the wrong spot. And the lady came up to her and she goes, "Oye, señora, yo no estoy aquí para limpiar tu mugrero," and which translates in English, "Hey, I'm not here to pick up your shit."
Yeah, and translates to us is like, I'd like you to kill me now.
Yeah, and in my head, I was like, that's exactly why you're here. That's the only thing. And I was like being rational in my head, and then the more I thought about it, and Mo instantly looked at me and she goes, "Don't." That's what she said, right?
So when you said that, my immediate reaction was like, and how hard did you hit her?
So I didn't. This is what I did. Right, Mo was like, man, as she left, and I was still steaming. Right, I was fucking furious. Of course. And in my head, I'm like, yes, it is. That's the only fucking reason you exist. Is to pick up other people's shit. Right. If you didn't have this, you'd be sucking dick underneath a fucking overpass. You know what I mean? You're
literally going to be the person who picks up trash until you are trash when you're dead.
Exactly. And so Mo was like, I need to take out money or whatever. And I was like, cool, go. I'm still going to look around or whatever. And if anyone goes if anyone ever goes to the Walmart, at the like hobby section, there's like a bunch of paints that are like in a row and they're all neatly organized. So I just stuck my arm out and I just knocked them all down, and I went on the other side and I started moving shit around everywhere.
That's
right.
hilarious.
She was gone, but she was on the other aisle, so I just fucked up the whole aisle. And then I went because right in front of it is the men's clothes department. And I just waited for her because I wanted to see.
You want to see what happens.
Her reaction to it because I'm a fucking maniac. Right?
No, I totally understand. You know what's funny? The fact that you went to that section and waited, I would have went and complained to her. I would have been like, "Hey, ma'am, this aisle's fucked up." So you better take care of it.
See, that's like another level of psycho.
That's why
I was just there, like, I just want to see my work. You know what I mean?
No, I would have made it real personal. I would have been like, "Hey, the aisle's a wreck, man. I don't know what you do here, but whatever it is, it sure shit isn't cleaning the fucking aisle."
Oh shit, that'd be.
And then I would have left.
No, she would have known it was me.
Oh yeah, no, I mean? That's the whole point.
I don't want to get caught. You know what I mean? I'm not that kind of a lunatic. I still want to get away with it. You know what I mean? I'll leave a calling card.
Dude, I'm like a cat.
So I just stood there.
I'll knock the glass over in front of you and watch you as I do it.
No, I just want to get away with it more often. You know what I mean? But yeah, I stood there and then I waited for her. And when she came back, she just looked at it and she just threw her arms up. And I was like, yes. And I just walked away. I just walked away. I was like, that's right. It is your job because you're doing it.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
You know what
also,
I mean?
they're paying you. So shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Really.
Maybe
like,
you shut the fuck up.
Exactly. So that was, and it felt really good doing it. And I was like, that's so petty. Like after I was thinking about it, it's so petty, but fuck that bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I am petty.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I was outside of Walmart and there was a grandma, somebody's grandma, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And,
I remember this.
She actually was in my way, very much in my way, from when I got to the crosswalk to where she was parked, right? So she was parked on the left side. So I followed her slowly, very slowly, because she's a very slow individual. I waited for her to cross the crosswalk. I started to go into the lane, and she sped up mind-blowingly and got in front of my car. Right. And I was like, you are old, 1. 2, you're clearly evil. 3, I'm going to go around you. So, because I have a car and I know how to drive it. So.
I like that you said she's clearly evil.
Yeah. So I go around her. Around her and I park in a space right next to her because it's a Walmart. So I fucking get out and I'm walking and I'm going to the Walmart and she goes, "Hey." And I'm like, I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy, but when people say hey to me, I have the most horrid reaction. Like, it's like, I can't fucking believe you're trying to talk to me right now. So I looked at her and I said, "What?" Like that. And she said, "Somebody needs to teach you how to drive."
Somebody needs to teach you how to die.
Yeah, no, I was close, but I said, "Hey, ma'am." And she turned around and I said, "Why don't you go fuck yourself?" And her face was so upset.
Fucking twisted.
Like it was to the point where I thought she was going to bust out a grandson and have him beat my ass. But like it was that moment between me and her. Like when I locked eyes with her, I said, "Why don't you go fuck yourself?" And her face like shriveled and I smiled.
Yeah, it's always
big
fun.
As I could.
It's always fun.
I did this. I went.
It's always fun to see people that don't expect you to be a fucking maniac and just be like, hey, fuck you. You know what I mean? And it's like, wait, you're not supposed to. I'm a lady. And it's like, no, you're not. Get out of here.
No.
I told you, I've said this story a bunch of times, and some people that were there, but it's kind of the same situation. And I was at I think I was at a cigar bar or some shit. I don't know. We were leaving, and I was with some friends, and I was smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And some chick comes up to me and she's like, hey, can I have a cigarette? I'm like, why don't you go fuck yourself?
Yeah.
And she leaves. She's like, what the fuck? Like, she was super offended. And I'm all like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't owe you a fucking cigarette.
Also, I don't know you. You came up to me. You started chattering at me with your fucking stupid face. You dumb question.
You're not entitled to my cigarettes. Why? Because you have a pussy?
Off.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just because it arises from me being a fucking lunatic. Because in my head, what I heard is I'm entitled to this cigarette.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll admit, 99% of the times I'm misreading the situation.
Yeah.
I'm going to be upfront with that.
So let's be real about it.
99% of the time,
it's like 150%.
Yeah, it's more like 100. You're absolutely right. It's somehow I defy mathematics, and
math ain't got shit on how crazy you are.
So her boyfriend shows up. She's like, "What the fuck, bro? And I'm all like, "What, man? Like, what's the problem here?
Yeah, what's the issue here?
Do I owe her a cigarette? Why can't you get her a fucking cigarette, dude?" And it's always weird to see people that I guess they think that they don't expect someone to tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Like they've never had it told to them. And I like to be the person to tell them because I love to see their reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic. And don't get me wrong, I've been punched in the face for it a bunch of times. Yeah. But to me, it's still worth it.
It's the principle.
Exactly.
The pain fades.
Exactly.
The memory and story become better over time.
Exactly.
Like a fine wine.
Anyways.
I was hoping she would get a heart attack and die. Like, if we're being totally honest. Mm-hmm. Like, if we're being like overshare Kevin right now.
Oh boy.
I wanted her to drop dead on the fucking spot, and I would have been like, I killed her.
Oh man, it's the perfect crime.
Offend someone to death.
Yeah, I don't think that's against the law, right? You offend somebody so bad that they just die. Yeah. How would that like work out?
Well,
I don't think
you
that's
jump in front of them and go.
Well, that's fucked up, right? Well, it wasn't the offense at that point. It was you sticking. It was you sticking out your dick that was illegal.
No. You mimic.
I don't think that's illegal.
That's what I'm saying. So like, that's how you defend him to death.
I don't know about that.
Or you do the shit that I do, which is like I punish people for listening to my conversations that I'm having with people.
Right. Or you should just like a good way, maybe like tell like a dude. I'm not gonna say it's really fucked. Never mind.
But no, like whenever I catch somebody eavesdropping, I'll say the most horrific thing again.
Oh shit, for real?
Like for real.
Yeah.
I used to do it in high school all the time. Like people would be passing by. And I'd see them look at me and like try to hear what I was saying, and I'd be like, "Yeah," and that's when I'd cut my dick off, and they'd go, "What the fuck?" And I'd be like, "Stop listening to what I'm saying."
I recently, and this is not relevant to anything, but who cares, right?
Fuck 'em.
I was at Target, and there was this lady that was very upset at, I guess, her husband or some shit like that. She was on the phone. And I was laughing the whole time. I couldn't stop, dude. I was following her around, dude. Just laughing, dude. It was fucked up, man. But it was her tragedy, right? Like, I guess the dude was fucking around or something from what I could piece together. And she was just like, how could you do this to me, right? And I was just like, oh, yes. That's because I was walking and she was like, I was looking for a fucking like, something. I can't remember what the fuck I was doing. It didn't matter. Cares, So I was walking with like a cart and I just heard that like, how could you do this to me? And I just turned around. I'm like, I need to hear this. You know what I mean? And I was just there listening and like holding in my laughter because she was all like, you can't do this. How can you say that you love me? If you love me, you wouldn't do this to me. And I'm just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. just bursting.
She's like I can't take this anymore. I have 2 kids and I'm taking care of them. And you're fucking around. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to lose it. I don't want to get busted. You know what I mean? And she keeps going. She's like, I'm going to tell your therapist. And I'm like, whoa, this guy's nuts. Whoa. And you still haven't gotten it? Red flags, lady. Like, it's your fault at this point. You know, at this point, I'm already involved in this lady's life. You know what I mean? So I'm still like I was almost like,
you're already judging the shit out of her. Lady, even I saw this coming.
Yeah,
I've been listening since the beginning of this.
Bitch, you need to leave. Yeah, dude.
It would have been classic if you were wearing that fucking shirt that Art has. Have you seen that shirt?
Nah, maybe.
It's got the RoboCop thing on it. It's got the bad guy on it says "bitches leave" on the fucking bottom.
And just go up to her while she's on the phone, just be like pointing at the shirt, "Leave, bitch." He ain't good for you. And they like, she had like 8 kids were like walking around her and shit. And I was like, "Fuck, this sucks."
Dude, she was
but
like,
it's really funny. Thank you.
She was literally ruining their childhood.
Yeah. And I'm over there in the back in the next aisle giggling like a fucking teenage girl.
Yeah, exactly. Good shit.
It's funny, man. It's good stuff.
I remember
Pobre vieja,
there's been a couple times. I can't really even remember what it's been anymore, but there's been a couple times where I've had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to leave.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm going to laugh. And this is
shit.
wholly inappropriate.
Dude, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When my father died.
Yeah.
And which is, this is, because, okay, so I'm not exposed.
I was cracking up.
So I'm not exposed to a lot of Mexican culture, right?
Yeah.
I'm Anglo, like I'm fucking practically fucking. I know how to speak the language, right? But I'm not. I grew up here. I didn't spend too much time over there, but I have a lot of family over there.
Yeah.
So my dad died and shit. So I went to go to the funeral, and I didn't realize that Mexican funerals are like a triathlon. And whoever is the most distraught and most hysterically sad are the winners. So like that's how you show you miss them. Like there's a lot of fainting, screaming, yada yada yada. So when I went,
and a shit ton of drinking.
Yes, right. So I was there and I just saw it happening, and people screaming, people having to get pried off of the casket and shit. And I'm just fucking laughing, dude.
Yeah.
Like I had to go to the bathroom and I started cracking up. I'm like, these people are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They don't understand like how funny it is.
Yeah, dude. And I had to carry my stepmother because she fainted, and I was like fucking. Like it was the hardest thing I'd ever had to do, and like to keep it to not to laugh because these people are fucking like cousins that are males that are there. We're putting him in the fucking dirt, and this dude just fucking collapses, right? And I'm like, did he actually? Why are you fainting? Like, what happened? Like, are you so sad that your blood sugar dropped, or what the fuck happened?
He didn't just die in front of you.
Exactly, he wasn't
been
murdered
dead this
like,
whole time.
I would have maybe fainted if he was like his head got cut off in front of me. Dude, I would have been like, oh god.
Look, sir. If he came back to life,
I would have fainted.
I'd understand the reaction.
That would have been fucked up. Yeah, like if he just like wakes up in the fucking and they do this weird thing where they just have like a glass sheet.
Yeah, the glass sheet on
top of it, and he's just open there. Yeah. And if he just fucking like punches through it, I would have been like, what? And then fainted. Like I'm out.
In case of emergency. Break glass.
How fucked up would that be? Like if he punches out through like the fucking toy from Toy Soldiers does in the beginning of the movie.
I wasn't dead, bitches.
And he just cracks through, and he's like, "This is Captain Chip."
This was a test.
Yeah, exactly.
To see how many of you would faint.
Yeah, I wanted to see how sad you fucks would be.
Dude, you know what? I've honestly had that thought run through my head.
Hold on. Somebody did that, and it was really funny and fucked up. Like, they were actually dead. The dude was going to die, right? Like, he had a horrible disease or whatever, and he died, and he recorded...
Look at my face. I'm so happy.
So he died, and he did this fucked up... They were putting him in the ground, and he had a pre-recording thing in the casket of him scratching and screaming, "Get me out of here," or whatever. And he was super dead. God. And like, I'm like, dude, that's a next level gangster right there. That's like, he gave me an idea. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking brilliant, dude. And you like, I guess people that knew him, some people were like horrified, and some people were just cracking up. I'm like, this son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's gold.
I think my favorite thing that I wanted to do is orchestrate my funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've wanted so far, it's going to cost a lot of money.
You'll be fine.
And it's going to fucking ruin like relationships. But what I want to do,
that's the fucking way to go. Go out doing what you did when you lived, which is burning bridges.
Yeah. So my favorite, like my idea so far, I've had this idea since 8th grade, by the way. We have a pact, me and Art, he's going to try to make it happen. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be put in closed casket. They're going to like ring me in there or whatever. Yeah. And they're going to put me in the middle of the fucking stupid little stage they have when you kick it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be in a church because I'm not going to be allowed in a church. So we're going to have like a little thing set up. And then at a certain point, the fucking lid's going to fly off. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have put like shit around my wrist and my hips and my knees and my feet to make me a marionette.
Oh boy, that's fucked up, Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm gonna jump out, like fucking pop out.
There's gonna be like juices of you flying everywhere.
And then on top of that, it's just gonna start playing Highway to Hell. And what I want is that they get a good enough puppeteer to where like my hand is strumming the fucking and my head is going up and down, like dead, just so dead, like amazingly dead, like white, fuck. Even though I'm like brown, like white, white brown, tan,
it'd just be gray,
so, like and I want to walk my funeral. I want everyone except Art and you, who are going to be dying laughing on the floor, to get up and leave and be glad that I died. It's my one last fuck you to everyone.
That's gangster, man. That's a little bit over the top.
Yeah. And I wanted smoke machines.
Nice.
Like as soon as the beat hits, like just a banana.
Oh boy.
But yeah.
Maybe pneumatics. Cool. Maybe if what's his face was in a douchebag, the engineer guy that I will not be named, maybe he would have been able to help you out. But
yeah, maybe.
He fucked up.
Too bad he died.
He's dead to me. Dude, I thought that was hysterical that as soon as that happened, like you just made another chat without him. And I was like, this is so petty, but I love every second of it.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
And I really thought about the, when I did it, my opening line to the chat.
Oh, yes. I remember that. Yeah. That was great.
So, yeah.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
Shit. But yeah, man.
The Joker, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we did it.
Yeah,
I think
we did.
We explained why we loved it so much without doing that. Just by going through how fucking crazy we are.
Yes.
And I think we had a great time. I had a great time doing this.
Me too.
All right. Well,
Scooby-Doo-boop-boop-bah.
It's true. Let's go ahead and sign off then.
Peace out, bitches.
We'll see y'all on the next time.
Hasta luego.